family, and welcome to another episode of Family Talk, the place where I share suggestions and ideas to continue the conversation at home about this week's Bible story. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day celebration last week as we pick up again with our Gospel Project curriculum in the book of Zechariah. And Zechariah, of course, is found in the Old Testament. To kind of bring us up to date so far, we know that Israel had gone into exile and they spent more than 70 years there. They came back and they started last week trying to rebuild the temple. It took them a little while to get it done, but even while that was happening, Zechariah was a contemporary and someone who was on the scene. During that time, Zechariah encouraged God's people to finish the temple. And he had 8 visions about what God would do in the future. One prophecy of Zechariah said that the Messiah would be a king who rode a donkey. And he said that the Messiah is coming. Our big picture question is that bit of doctrine that we share each story is, how is Jesus the perfect prophet? Well, the answer is that Jesus perfectly reveals God and what he's like, and he fulfills what the prophet spoke. Some questions to get started with our little ones is to name some ways we can remember God and put him first. Ask, who is the special king Zechariah told about? And how is Jesus different from earthly kings? Another question is, how did God react to those who turned their backs on him or disobeyed him? And what have you put your hope in? Another question is, how do we know that Jesus is the Messiah? Why did Jesus ride a donkey? And what other prophecies did Jesus fulfill? Here's some activities this week is to, as a family, make and record some predictions about the coming week, such as the weather or sports scores and so forth. And then discuss how prophecy and predictions differ. Another fun activity would be to, as a family, to read and compare some of Zechariah prophecies with their fulfillment in the New Testament. For example, Zechariah 9:9. Look at John chapter 12, verses 12 to 15. Another is Zechariah 11:13 and Matthew 27, verses 9 to 10. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, and look at John 19, verses 33 to 37. To do that, explain that Jesus is the Messiah that God promised. Some other activities or connections you can make with this week's stories is to look back on some memories that you guys have made and talk about where you hope to go or to do in the future. It's always good to look back so that we have something to appreciate. And though making memories is definitely one of those things that help us to know what to do as we go forward. Well, that's it for for this week. Next week, we're going to look at that story of Esther, the woman the queen who saved her people. So we hope you're tuning in for some more suggestions and ideas for that story. Have a blessed week. Bye for now.